In this video, I will talk about 33 countries in our world which are using articles in German language. Let's start with the first group, the countries which have a male masculine article in German. It is der. For example, der Vatikan. Vatikan is a state within Rome in Italy, the home of the Pope. But the other countries which have a male article are mostly in Arab countries. For example, der Iran, der Iraq, der Yemen, der Libanon, der Oman, and also in Africa, considered as Arabian countries, der Senegal, der Sudan, der Chad, der Congo, der Niger. Later I'm going to show you a map so you can see where they are located. Then the second group are the countries which have a feminine article, die. For example, in Europe, die Schweiz, die Türkei, die Slowakei, then die Ukraine und die Mongolei. And it's interesting to see that Slovakia is near Russia, Ukraine is also near Russia, and Mongolia is between Russia and China. Then we have some of these in Africa, but not because the country itself has a female origin, but because of additional words like, for example, Küste, which means coast, Elfenbeinküste, the Ivory Coast in Africa, and the others because they are republics. For example, Demokratische Republik Kongo oder Republik Kongo und die Zentralafrikanische Republik. So because of their political title, they are female when you talk about them. Interestingly, Congo, as I mentioned earlier, is male. They are Congo masculine, but when we use it with its political title, suddenly it's female, feminine. And there's one more in America, the Dominikanische Republik near Cuba. This is also female, but also because of the addition of republic. Then we have the third group, which is the plural countries, die. And here, as a special thing, the islands. And only if there are several islands together. For example, the Bahamas is not only one. Färöerinseln, die Kapverdischen Inseln, you can already tell by the nomen here, Inseln, with the N at the end, is a plural, obviously. Die Komoren, die Malediven, of course, die Philippinen, a group of islands. Die Salomonen und die Seychellen. They have an article because they are a plural of islands. Then another plural, which is often forgotten, sind die Niederlande, in English the Netherlands, and when you remember the S at the end is always an indication for a plural. So das Land, but die Lande, that's why Niederlande is also considered as a plural. Then we have the group of states like the United Emirates, die Vereinigten Arabischen Emirate, and of course die Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika, the USA. That's why they also have a plural article, because they are a group of states. So all other 161 states, which is 83% of the countries in this world, are neutron. Therefore, we do not use an article for them, even though they have one. So 194 countries, states all in this world. And interestingly, the reason for plural articles and for islands and group of states are clear. Also, if the country has a political title, as I just explained. But there's no source to be found which explains the genus, why a country is masculine or feminine. You will not find it anywhere on the internet. And if so, please let me know. So here is a world map from Google Maps, and I start with showing the masculine countries first. And it's quite interesting when you look at that they are like in a belt here from the left side, almost in one area and then going up. All Arab countries here are male. The Congo, as I mentioned earlier, in the center of Africa also, and an exception of these groups is the Vatican in Rome. Then we look at the feminine countries, As I mentioned, die Schweiz, die Türkei is known, die Slowakei, die Ukraine, Mongolei. This above here is Russia, so you see they're a little bit near to each other. Then here the Elfenbeinküste, Ivory Coast, because of coast, Küste, this is female, Republik here and here because of the political title. Third group, which countries have a plural? As mentioned, die Niederlande, Netherlands in the north, the Emirate and USA, of course, and last not least, the islands. I'm not showing all on this map because they're on the other side, close to America, but you see die Seychellen und die Philippinen, group of islands, that's why they have a plural as islands, group of islands. So what impact has this fact that there are islands or have an article? It has an impact on article and declination of the preposition. So we start with this example, masculine, das ist der Vatikan, male, so masculine, neutrum, feminine, plural. As usual, our sorting and islands as an exception at the end. Das ist der Vatikan, male, das ist Deutschland. No article mentioned if it is neutrum. Here is die Schweiz, of course, with a female article, feminine article. So sind die USA with plural article. Schön sind die Philippinen, die because group of islands, as mentioned earlier. So if we ask wohin, where to, are you going, moving, whatever, for example, maskulin, Felix fährt in den Vatikan. Ich wandere nach Deutschland. So if the country has no article, it's a different preposition. Elisa geht in die Schweiz. If it has an article, it's in. Theo reist in die USA. Same here. So if there's an article, the preposition of choice is in. Otherwise, if no article, neutrum, it's nach. But the exception, if it's an island, then the preposition changes again. Lilly fliegt auf die Philippinen. Next is Dativ. Where? Wo? Where are you, for example? Felix ist im Vatikan oder in dem Vatikan. Ich wohne in Deutschland. Kein Artikel. Elisa lebt in der Schweiz. Dativ, that's why die Schweiz becomes der Schweiz. Theo arbeitet in den USA. Dativ, obviously. Und again, islands. Lily singt auf den Philippinen. So you see again, if it's an island, a group of islands, it's a different preposition. Last not least, woher, where from, where are you coming from, for example, this will also be a dative. Maskulin, Felix fährt aus dem Vatikan. Ich wandere aus Deutschland, no article for countries neutrum. Elisa kommt aus der Schweiz. Die Schweiz becomes der Schweiz. Theo reist aus den USA. And again, the exceptions with the islands. Lilly fliegt von den Philippinen. So islands are using different articles. Then we come to the exceptions. Sometimes, even though usually we don't use an article for countries with neutrum, sometimes it happens. For example, dort ist das gute Deutschland. So if a country with no article uses an adjective like gut, good, schön, beautiful, then the article shows das gute Deutschland. Oder das ist mein Österreich oder das ist kein Österreich. If a country with no article uses a possessive article or negation, then the article possessive or negation also shows. Maskulin or neutrum, das ist der Kongo. Der Kongo has an article. Das ist Texas. Texas usually has no article. The country state is used with its original article. You use the article, the original one, or none, if it's a neutrum. But if you use it, for example, here is die Republik Congo, then suddenly, because of Republik is mentioned now, the article changes. Or here is der Staat Texas. Now suddenly, Staat is male, so we see an article. Not because if we add something to the country, then also the article suddenly shows. But as mentioned earlier, for about 85% of the countries in the world, They, in German language, they do not use the neutron articles. Thanks for watching.